Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and wow, there was another incredible AMA with Reese and Alex from Ecomi and Veve that gave a number of updates that actually left me like leaning back in my chair, just so happy to be involved with this company as an investor. So again, if you don't have 2.5 hours free to listen to the entire thing, don't worry. I took avid notes and we're going to go through a number of these highlights that were really great highlights in a condensed version. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. Okay, so before we get into it, I just gotta say, well done, Ecomi fam, because y'all came ready for this AMA with amazing questions. So thank you again for all the thought that you put into these questions and for being a part of this amazing community. So with that said, on to the highlights. First was Comic-Con, and Reese couldn't say yet what their role will be, but we will have an announcement around this in a few days. So hopefully by the end of the weekend. But Alex and Ecomi and Veve did confirm that the reason why we don't see them on the agenda or anything is because they are not an exhibitor. But then Reese went on to say that what we're doing is better than being an exhibitor in his opinion, and in line to make the biggest impact for Comic-Con in a digital format. So better than being an exhibitor, I mean, these guys are playing 4D chess with every little move they make. For those who are worried that they're gonna fall flat with announcements or meeting expectations, I wouldn't count on it anymore because they're delivering on all fronts now. In fact, I chose to sell some crypto that I really didn't want to sell just to add more to my bags, because after this AMA, I just can't help fight that it is the smartest investment at this time. And I'll get into more about that, exactly why, at the end. But speaking of Comic-Con, they also confirmed that we're going to be seeing multiple drops, which we knew we'd see multiple drops, but multiple drops per day. So leading up to it, I thought we'd get, it's a 3-day event, so we'll probably have 3 drops. But they came out and said, well, we're going to probably see more than a drop each day. So we could be seeing maybe anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe more, but I'd say conservatively, probably 4 to 6 drops that weekend. I would make sure that you have your phone handy wherever you are on that weekend, whatever you're doing, and those collectibles are going to be amazing. We're expecting, obviously, Marvel, who they did announce that they have that partnership, and we're expecting some Marvel NFTs to hopefully land during Comic-Con, but who knows what else? I mean, there's a lot of names at this event on the exhibitor side, the vendor side, the artist side, so really we can expect anything from them at this point. The next big update was that they've already let us know that there will be a visible buy now button and a CAPTCHA image that we'll now see that we'll have to solve. And again, this will help defeat the bots and the people who've been manipulating the drops. But the concern was last drop, people would mash the buy now button, succeed, and then they would accidentally hit a cancel button. So they would actually qualify for the drop, but then they accidentally canceled it. So really frustrating for the ghost trap. A lot of people were like, this is an issue. So they listened to the community, initially on the CAPTCHA, and then immediately a week after that AMA, addressed the cancel button issue, and now the cancel button is gone. So the company turned around that fast and implemented a solution for their community, recommended by their community. Truly amazed by the Veve team's ability to receive feedback and implement it. Absolutely incredible job. And then we got an update on Immutable X, which we heard originally was roughly 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 weeks out. And Reese went on saying that we're now on schedule to be 4 weeks out, so roughly mid-August. So this is exciting again because we've been clamoring for Immutable X because that means interoperability will be able to go into an OpenSea marketplace or other marketplaces. We'll really be able to say that these are NFTs, and then also going to finally shut up all the naysayers about how Veve collectibles aren't yet NFTs, and it'll attract more investors. And if the migration kicks off then maybe we'll see an exchange or two by the end of August. Now, that wasn't part of what was discussed at the AMA, but it just got my brain kind of going, and it kind of makes sense, right? They're building up, again, that momentum, that stack of dominoes I kept talking about, and that would make sense to have roughly a week or two following that immutable move. Now, I mentioned a lot of positives, but I did catch one possible negative and worrisome thing to me that they did mention there in the AA. It had me pause, and that was that they did say that not all collectibles would be able to immediately be moved out of the app onto the marketplace like OpenSea until they work out everything with the licensors to allow this, and then added not all licensors will allow that NFT ability. So like that makes you wonder, A, what collectibles will we not be able to move over entirely? And then B, will that mean that the ones that we're not able to will lose value in comparison to the ones that can, or will the ones that can just increase in value? You know, I think this is important, especially for the flipper community who are making really good money doing this, to know like what kind of collectibles and licensors we can expect to move over. I think probably the Batman ones are safe. But even if you're a collector like myself, this is potential concerning news, you know, but for the most part, that could just be a timing thing. But I'd say, you know, let's keep this top of mind and keep it a constant topic in the forefront during a lot of the AMAs and upcoming up to immutable. We also heard that MTL will be coming before immutable. So if immutable is 4 weeks out, then MTL could be 1 to 3 weeks away, which if you're not familiar, MTL is the ability to cash out your gems, right? So there's gonna be a KYC, the ability to link your bank and actually make money off of your gems and cash out essentially. So this is great because it's a lot easier for a newer investor or new users, or even current investors and current people who have a substantial collection, but it gives them incentive to want to now buy in more Veve collectibles, especially from a newer investor standpoint, when they know that they can actually turn a profit with these collectibles instead of just getting more gems to buy more collectibles. The next update was that devs are currently working on the full price history ability. So this will actually have some kind of audit trail of past users and what the OG cost was and what you paid for it, and some other features, including a more accurate appraisal price. So you'll know roughly, you know, what to list it for when selling. They also mentioned, you know, once Immutable X goes through and we're able to sell on an OpenSea-like marketplace, the collectibles will still have their first appearance or first edition tags, which is great, as again, because it creates more distinction when you're actively selling your collectibles in an open market, right? You can actually add that in the description. It'll show that that is a first appearance and here's why it is more valuable in comparison to a first edition. And one good question while we're on the topic of OpenSea that someone asked was, will you be able to bring NFTs from, let's say, OpenSea into Veve? And that answer was actually no. And the thought around this was because Veve is about premium content only, right? So premium collectibles, we're gonna have premium digital toys and premium digital comics. So there's a lot of right? NFTs out in OpenSea and open marketplace because anyone can really create an account and put stuff out there. So they want to make sure it's limited to premium content. However, they did say maybe some artwork would be allowed in the future. So maybe you'll have some kind of custom framing in the future where you're allowed to import something like that, but it doesn't sound like it'll be something immediate. They also answered another smart question about scalability, right? We saw how not great the drops were in the beginning when you'd hop on the app and you'd mash the button and you just keep mashing it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and waiting for 45 minutes, an hour. The app would crash. It was not great. And that was only a couple months ago. But they asked, you know, if they're targeting 1 million plus users by the end of the year, how much can the app really handle? You know, are they going to be able to onboard that many people? And they said the app has been re-engineered to handle a couple million at its current state and have devs on who will continue to scale as needed. So again, they're thinking ahead, right? Because they know we're going to get there. We're going to go past 1 million, and who knows how many users we'll have come 2024, 2025. I mean, sky's the limit. And then someone asked about the Veveverse, and they're still pretty hush-hush about, you know, what to expect, but Reese did allude to having some kind of theme park setup eventually in your world. So, I mean, you could have like maybe like a Batman world or, you know, a DC world, or but something with, maybe some form of attraction that you can really lay out and set up to match your collectibles. And then he also went on to say that maybe you can have friends over to your world or your space, and they can sit on your digital couch and watch moments. Could that mean that we're gonna have like Veve content or content we can create and screen in our virtual worlds? I don't know. He said it pretty fast, but I did catch it. And he also said you could, show off your collectibles to your friends in that world and bring them in via AR, or maybe watch some kind of screening where you're like watching a movie together. The future that is the Veveverse and the way that they're moving with all this is very forward thinking. They're very much set on this is amazing now, but it's going to be tenfold once wearables come in, and they're doing everything now to be in a further state than a lot of other competitors will be, but also other platforms that then say, oh, AR is taking off, like we better get on this, but they're already going to be light years ahead. But that sounds awesome. We already love Veve on Twitter and all these different social platforms. We talk to each other and we hop in each other's streams, and we're engaging and making friends with people that we're not able to really communicate with besides, computers. And this will give us a world that will allow us to engage in fandom together through augmented reality and further build our community. It's going to blow up. And then someone asked about, what do accessories and all that look like? And Reese essentially said that even the accessories will have different rarities. So, maybe you have a super rare golden cape to add to your Superman, or a new paint job on your DeLorean, or some dope rims you can put on your Ecto 1. I mean, I was excited when we heard we were getting like premium shelving and maybe like plants and weird things for our vault. But now we're gonna have different rarities to different accessories that can be exclusive to different NFTs. You know what I immediately thought of when he said there's gonna be different variables in the accessories with different rarities? I see just mountains of OMI just burning from all of the accessories that people are buying on top of the NFTs and the digital comic books. All the meanwhile, my OMI bags just keep pumping in value. So from all the users having so much to do, from buying collectibles and comic books and art and accessories, a metaverse, land, and who knows what else. I say it all the time, but zoom out. All of these updates, all of this, what is happening and already starting and then soon coming, this has all been news that's happened in the past 5 months, maybe 4 months, which Reese even said the app is going to be a completely different thing in another 6 months, let alone 5 years from now, which led to a final question that had the most importance to me. Now, the person who asked this question, I believe, was actually alluding to Poor Man Printing's new video, which great video, go watch it, go check out Poor Man, subscribe, where he compared Veve to Amazon. And he asked Reese, people referred to Veve as the Netflix of NFTs. Alcon's referred to it as the Walmart of NFTs. But wouldn't you say Amazon is more in line in terms of comparison, in the sense that they started with books, right? And they've obviously branched out from there and have become, incredibly successful and a go-to marketplace for the world. And so he was asking, is Amazon more comparable to what Ecomi and Veve are becoming? And Reese took a minute to answer this because they're confident in what they're doing and how successful this is, but they're not egotistical jerks, right? Like, they're not smug, which I love. So kudos to the team because they're killing it and being humble about it. But Reese did agree that Amazon is a good comparison in the sense that they started with collectibles, but they will eventually be a go-to marketplace for digital products. So he didn't say a marketplace for digital collectibles or digital toys or digital comic books, but digital products, which leaves it wide open. That made me realize, like, we are really just scratching the surface on what Veve is going to become. So those were the highlights of an absolutely incredible AMA that had me feeling even more bullish, but this is what it feels like. We all wish we turned over a rock and found a diamond of a company and got in before it skyrocketed in value. This is it. this is that company. I'm for the most part, a pretty conservative investor, and I like hedging my bets and having the ability to swing trade with momentum and really try to time, sell here and then buy low. But I just switched the mindset completely to I'm not trying to swing trade any OMI anymore. I'm in the long time hodler mindset because I don't care what the price does really over the next 6 months, because I'm putting on like the same glasses that the Veve team sees out of and thinking about what the future holds and how my investment is only going to continue to build, especially once staking comes into play. So yeah, I first covered Ecomi and Veve back at the beginning of March when there wasn't really a whole lot of content around it yet. And there's been ups and downs along the way, and there's going to continue to be, but my resolve and conviction in this company only keeps getting stronger as it just keeps building and building and getting stronger. I've worked and consulted with a ton of different companies in the enterprise side and the startup space of many different technologies in many different verticals. And Ecomi and Veve is truly a hidden gem. And I'm just happy that we found it now. I'm a little bit shook if you can't tell, but if you found my content valuable, please hit the like button. And as always, leave a comment down below about Ecomi and Veve, about the AMA. It appeases the YouTube algo overlords and helps my channel continue to grow. Also, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, and happy trading.